Tanner Holmes shows you right now, and man, after first night at Skagit Speedway in the 1T here, it was a really good night, and then the main event kind of a little bit not what you wanted, but it was a perfect night until then, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's so far so good. You know, kind of hard to complain with a top 5 with the Outlaws. I think just any driver feels pressure. If you start on the pole, you kind of expect to either win the race or maybe be on the podium. But came home 4th, car had speed all night. You know, I think the racetrack probably just ate me up a little bit. I had a big wheel stand on the start. Just a couple little details that, you know, is probably the difference in us running 1st or 2nd and, you know, running 4th. But at the end of the day, you know, we were around really fast guys, and they just took advantage of a couple things that we weren't able to. But, you know, my car was good enough to win. I think I just need to clean up a couple things on my, you know, my side.
Well, I noticed in the when Gio was next to you on the dash, he got near you on that one. You're like, I'm not letting you get by. Yeah. We are going to win this thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's hard. You know, you have to, on a track like that last night, you have to run a really good pace, but you also try to tone it back maybe a tiny bit. I mean, you don't want to have to, but gosh, it's easy. I think it's easy to crash, you know, on a surface like that. So you have to be able to run the whole race. Luckily, the dash is much shorter, but felt good up until that point. We finally made some changes to be better in the dash and the heat race. Like I said, the Shark Racing team, these guys have it really dialed in. So if we can kind of keep replicating that as we go through these nights, we got to just keep putting ourselves in contention. You know, once you're up there, you can definitely make something happen. It's just much harder to come through the field for these races.
And when you're up in the front, I mean, you don't know that Sheldon is doing something crazy in Sheldon line that nobody else is doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't know that when he was behind me. I did know when he blew by me, though, that I'm like, there's only one way that he was probably going to be that much faster. You could just tell, like, the speed he carried when he drove by. And so, yeah, like, naturally knowing your competitors, I kind of figured he was probably doing something like that. We were all kind of eyeing above the cushion in 3 and 4. I think it's just more so treacherous to go up there. And, of course, the guys that I'm racing against, too, are points racing. So, you know, the last thing they want to do is put themselves in a position to, you know, run way farther back than they need to. So, yeah, we were all kind of, I think, maybe 1 and 2. And early on, I kind of did a little in traffic. But it's like I said, it's just so crazy. And it's easy to, especially if you're behind another car, you're way too tight up there. But, you know, the 17 made it work.
Now, let's talk. You've been on a lot of things. We've heard the story probably a lot, but I mean, you went back Midwest, you know, after at a certain time, and you ran all back there, and we've been watching the videos. And, I mean, you ran great at Houston, you ran a lot at Knoxville. You were like, I don't know, what, like the tough luck guy at Knoxville, like one spot, just missed it, right? Like, it seemed like every day, like just one spot.
Yeah.
And then Midwest trip is over, right?
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't over. I thought it was over, and I was actually like, I don't mean it how it sounds, but like I was just kind of ready to be home. I'm like, all right, you know, we had a great 4 weeks. Like, we took care of our equipment. We had some good runs. I feel like we made good progress. I had some help for nationals too, so we ran well in the 360, ran solid in the 410. You know, wanted to be a little better, but you know, it's Knoxville Nationals, and there's so much that goes into it. And then, yeah, the whole basically last day of nationals, I had a conversation with Bobby Allen. He was actually sitting behind my car in the pit area about an hour before the pit meeting. And I walked over and had, you know, never spoke with Bobby before, but you know, he looked at me and he asked who drove the car sitting there, and I was like, oh, I took my sunglasses off, and I'm like, that's me. So Tanner, nice to meet you. So yeah, but he asked if I was interested in driving the car for the rest of the season, and of course, an opportunity you have to jump on. So it's been great. I mean, I love running with these guys. I think now we're on 6 or 7 nights or something like that, and had a really good speed overall. Just like I said, it's just doing the little things, and technically being on, you know, racing with the Outlaw guys, it's good running with them because over time you feel more comfortable. You know, that's the guys you're racing against. It doesn't feel like as tall of a task, especially when you're in a car that's beat them before.
And you know, I think there's a lot of parallels there with your family team. And you probably wanted somebody that has raced on a family team because they're a family. Has always been a big family. That's Bobby Allen.
For sure. No, I agree with that. And you know, I mean, these guys, they obviously, you know, they have a really legit program and have ran with the Outlaws for years and have built to such a crazy point now where they're just right there with all the top teams. And so it's awesome to be a part of that. And yeah, a lot of it feels like home because it's, you know, like I said, it's just a family operation, and they do things how they do it. And they got a great package, great engines, great cars, great equipment, and we just go out and run hard. So it's been good also having Logan as a teammate. You know, you can learn a lot from him, and you know, getting to run with him, and you know what they're doing with their car, and how it can maybe work for ours, and how that works with my driving style as well.
Now you ran karts, and you still probably running karts, and you ran the same style kart, and then you ran the same style sprint car, and then you get in this, which I don't think the seat fit, right? I think I've heard that the seat's not fitting, pedals are different, steering wheel. I mean, it is not. I mean, it's got to be a different feel.
Yeah, you got to adjust, and I think for me, like luckily, it's felt like the new normal. To me, like this just feels like my car now, which is really good. So that's where I commend these guys. That's important, you know, to feel right with where the steering wheel's at, where the pedal is, how the brake moves. You know, there's things that are different. The shock's a little different on this car, brake system, obviously different engines, different brand of car, different seat, everything, which is, you know, that's great. It can go just as fast. It's just kind of adapting to that, and it's good to also have that feel, because I think that's a great thing for me as a driver to have in my back pocket. But like I said, so far, I mean, now this just feels like I'm driving the 18T, and I think that's why we've been good, you know, early on, and like I said, just it feels like I'm just driving my car.
Do you have to change your mindset as far as, you know, because I think some guys see, you know, oh, look at all those heavy hitters in the heat. Well, you're technically an outlaw now. Yeah, you might be from Jacksonville, Oregon, but you're technically driving for an outlaw team, so you will be, you'll park with the Outlaws, you're technically an outlaw team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of just try to look at it as, like I said, luckily I ran all that Midwest stuff, so you just get used to racing against that part of competition, so to me it just feels like a normal race. So I think once you get in that outlaw mindset, you try not to get out of it. That's why even, like, I didn't really want to run Sunday at Grays Harbor, I didn't really want to run Wednesday at Chico, because it sounds stupid, but you just get in this 410 mindset with the Outlaws and how it is, and how everything goes, how the show rolls through. Like, it really is a rhythm. So to me, like, I'm glad that I'm in that rhythm right now, and that's why I feel so good about everything, and just want to stick with it and keep, you know, crossing our T's, dotting our I's like we always do, and doing the best I can for Bobby.
I see yourself, Carly, helping you with some things.
Yeah. Actually, we had a little with our team. One of our guys had an emergency. He wasn't able to make it this weekend, so Carly's our tire guy this weekend. So, that's how that worked out, and she might help next weekend at Gold Cup. We're still figuring it out, but yeah, so she's filling in. So I'm learning what it's like to be an outlaw driver, I guess, and she's being an outlaw crew guy.
And then, obviously, last night the biggest crowd in the pits was right here.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this interview now.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even about to come over here and try to get in here, and you were signing so many autographs. And how many hours were you here last night signing? Not
too bad. I mean, there's probably a solid maybe 45 minutes, hour. At this point, I don't even get a chance to keep track. Happy that everyone comes down, and to me, you just kind of get used to it. You're used to it or whatever. So I didn't even realize that there was that big of a crowd. Just great that, you know, so many people came, and hopefully it's bigger as the weekend goes on, you know, as we get closer to the $26,000 finale. But like I said, my main goal, just working on getting to that part of the night and finishing strong, and you know, getting through qualifying our heats. And as long as you're in the dash, you got a shot. You got to start up front though to win these races.
And you got new graphics, no more duct tape on at least up there.
Yeah.
No more duct tape, and the new shirts. The new shirts are out, and they seem to be hot, selling hot. A lot of people are going to be wearing the 1T Holmes shirts, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy how that, you know, like I said, never driven for anyone else, so I didn't know what to really expect with all this, but it's been great so far, and like I said, they're taking care of me, and we got a couple more things cool coming with the car that, you know, working on, and I think we'll end up happening at Gold Cup or sometime here before the season gets too far along, but it's going to be nice to run this, and good confidence for our team just meshing together before we get to Ohio and PA and some places that will be a little more foreign.
All right, well, good luck.
Thank you.
This is Shuan here at the Cali Dirt Video.